You'll happily take the blame, even though
Nah, it's fine.
Jeremiah's fault.
Okay, buddy. All right, buddy. Okay. Okay, good. We are live on YouTube as well. YouTube is the one that the sounds. So we have one camera. Hello, everyone. We've also got a 360 pano around the top. Ooh. So we have a meeting camera from Owl Labs, if any of you guys are familiar. We've also got the patented David cam set up over there, so I can see what he's doing, make adjustments to it. We've only got one microphone, so please let me know if it's too quiet or you can't hear David. I will set up. We have other microphones that I can set up if need be to better hear David's responses.
We're just hoping this one does a good job.
Yeah, it's usually pretty sensitive. I think people can pretty well see what you're doing.
Just getting started on the boring stuff because we're slightly delayed and I am away from home for a very brief time.
Minimize myself a bunch there. All right. All right. People are saying, Hiroko says, all fancy today. Yeah, with the double cameras. Good to see you back, David.
They're all on.
Let me turn the gate off on them.
It's been a while. I've been in here to sew one time since the babies were born. I think I came in February once to sew up some weird little concept.
So Emily Emily was going to sew this sample?
Yeah. But she's getting allergy shots. Great fun.
Very nice.
I wasn't planning on sewing this, so I have to orient myself to where the top stitching is all going to go. But I'll figure that out as I go along. Yeah, so I sewn one time in the last 6 months, probably. For like a total of an hour. I haven't forgotten how to do it.
Okay, we're getting some things on the sound. I'll turn the noise gate off completely. So I hope that doesn't, I just don't want to overwhelm people with sound.
Good, is this better?
Yeah, Key and Leslie are giving me like feedback on what the sound is like.
Nice.
Can also check Instagram for comments. Is the prototype David making non-leather or leather? Good question.
This is cotton, and it's stuff we had on hand. Usually, we'll make a prototype with materials that are just available in the shop that are sort of analogous, or maybe we might make a standard and a luxe version of this jacket, like we did with the away jacket for Strange New Worlds. So we figured we'd give it a try just to make sure the cut is right and everything is good. The faux leather is more expensive and a little harder to work with. It also like by default looks awesome. So
That's fair.
if it doesn't work, we'll know better in cotton than we will in the faux leather.
See. I know the structure of the faux leather can change the way that certain things lie, and
yeah. This is what I know best, so I like to use it for prototyping, just to make sure, you know, to minimize variables.
I'm actually gonna zoom out a little bit. We have the camera currently set up on an ironing board, which is always fun.
Luckily, I won't need the ironing board. There's a delay in setting up. That just gave me a little time to do what small amount of ironing I would do with this design.
All right. So another good question. So, watching the process, make it so cosplay, who I know is on our Discord. Good to see you guys. So it's a good question. Is this in all 3 division colors, or is this more like the away jacket that's got multiple? Like, I'm sure that they probably know the answer. The question was, will it be in the division colors? But I know that you had said that you were looking for leather that comes in different colors too.
Yes. In the show, it comes in all 3 colors. So we're trying to find a leather that will have all 3 colors that are the right shade of each color, which is challenging to say the least. It's not easy to find that. That's one of the biggest problems with making new Starfleet jackets.
Finding the colors.
Is finding the colors, because they're very specific, and you need 3. And they all have to be good, and you want it all to be out of the same material so that they look consistent within the product. It's sometimes really challenging.
That's fair. I don't think anyone is under any pretenses that designing a jacket is necessarily super easy. So, although I feel like the rate with which the away jacket was developed and put out, it seemed like a relatively streamlined process. So that's good.
Yeah, that's because I was available and excited about it. The available being key, because I was excited about this one too, just not, my hours are very limited at the moment.
So another good observation. Well, I mean, interesting. Someone said they liked the look of the faux leather. I know we've had this question quite a few times. Like, what are the actual logistics of the, like, why don't we use real leather? I know that there are quite a few reasons, but
I'm gonna do this facing the other way. I hope it still sounds alright.
You're fine. I think it's okay.
We have a cutting machine that is designed to cut through layers of fabric. We cut all our own stuff. That is the first hurdle, is cutting out leather, because leather you usually buy a hide, and then you have to map the hide to map out any flaws or anything like that. And then you have to figure out how to lay out all your pieces based on the shape of the hide, which is different every single time. So you can't really cut layers in the same way. And there are computerized machines that do that work. They're just more expensive than the machine that we already own, and for a very, very specialized purpose. So that's an immediate hurdle, but we don't necessarily have to cut our own leather. It's also something I've never worked with. I've worked with it a couple of times, enough to know that I don't know enough about how to do it to do it well.
Yeah.
it's not the actual, not necessarily the actual sewing machine sewing, but it's also just construction methods and how you design a pattern for a leather jacket versus a cotton jacket is different. How you do seam allowances and things like that, it's all different. So it would just require so much upfront work for me to figure out how to do it logistically all the time.
Gotcha.
And all of our factories at the moment are cut and sew factories. So we send them cut pieces and they sew them together. They're not doing any development for us, they're not doing any sourcing for us. A lot of other companies will draw a flat drawing, not even necessarily do a whole pattern, just be like, this is the jacket that we want, and send it to the factory. The factory will develop the pattern and figure out source of materials and how to make it all and do all that work.
Gotcha.
Which can be done because they have 5 sizes and they have a standard sizing system and all that stuff is like, they standardize it, which is not how we've ever done anything. So it would just be a totally different setup than what we currently do.
Makes sense. Oh, I totally forgot. I can for the YouTubes. So similarly to the another good question. Similar to the 2357 are you envisioning this as a jacket that might be worn open, or maybe it's intended to be closed? Or does it not really matter all that much? So, no, the away jacket is always open in Strange New Worlds, from my understanding.
Well, it's always open in Strange New Worlds because it's a gray jacket.
Yeah, exactly.
So you don't get to see the color of your tunic if you close it.
Oh, that's true.
So it just would make I think it would make the show less visually interesting. Probably why they chose to do it that way.
That's fair.
Like whenever everybody is wearing that gray jacket, it would just be gray sci-fi on the screen, which is not the aesthetic of that particular series. The one Star Trek show that currently uses lights on the set.
Yeah, that makes sense. Distracting things in the background I can take down. Some colors and shapes and.
But to answer the question, I think the Strange New Worlds jacket looks great, open or closed. We show it open mostly because that's how it's shown in the show. But I would probably wear it closed most of the time. And similarly, some of the characters wear this jacket open or closed in the show. Actually there's more variation on that in the show, so it's gotta look good both ways.
I forgot I can actually rotate this camera and zoom in and maybe show a little bit more of what you're doing. Guys on YouTube are getting the experimental look here. Oh, the quality is real low. I'm going to show you guys around the shop a little bit. So we've got David's sewing doing some top stitching, I believe.
Yeah, I'm top stitching.
David's top stitching right there. I'll zoom out a little bit, show you guys what's going on. We've got some repairs and samples over there. We've got that's our cutting board over there, straight ahead. There's Instagram on a tripod. We've got the David camera set up. Got some machines and an ironing board. Most of you guys have we've got me again. Most of you guys have probably seen most of what's in here. Nothing new. Too much.
We've done a few walkthroughs.
Yeah, we've done some walkthroughs. We've done some camera spins. It's so difficult to get this lined up correctly. Here we go. Nice. Making sure there's no compromising information written on the board back here. don't think anybody can see it. These multicolored sticky notes probably aren't the best thing for the background. We've got all of our special company secrets written on there. They all just say design more Star Trek stuff. Okay.
They all say give us designs.
Give us more designs, please.
Those are the requests I've been getting lately.
Hey, man.
We need designs.
You've been out for too long. We're like, David, we need a steady stream. It's been reduced to a trickle.
All right. Cool.
Oh, good. Another good question. This is from Lee on YouTube, Lee Z. If you wanted to, or have you in the past spoken directly to, picked the brain of any of the costume designers for any of the shows that we're licensed for? Is that like a perk of a licensing agreement, or not really?
It is not. It is not a perk of a licensing agreement.
Gotcha.
I haven't even had conversations with the creative director of Assassin's Creed after all this time. Although I do know that they like what I do. They're very busy.
That's fair.
We did get to go to one of the premieres. I think the premiere of season 2 of Discovery. That was really fun. We got to dance with Doug Jones.
Well, very cool.
That was a really fun experience. We didn't really talk about. Didn't get to talk about the costume designer. That's cool.
I know we got tickets to the premiere of Strange New Worlds as well.
Yes, but couldn't go.
Yeah, well, I know Brian. I think Brian went. Somebody went.
Yeah.
That's back when people, I think, didn't really know what Strange New Worlds was, and then it came out and everyone was like, oh my gosh, we love it. Myself included. I watched like 3/4 of the final season of Picard. I honestly couldn't really get into the first couple of seasons too much because I feel like they were really reliant upon knowledge of like a lot of lore, and I just like didn't really have that, unfortunately.
So I'm sewing the collar right now, and doing some tricksy stuff with the pattern for this collar, because I think there's something that's really key about the way that it's constructed in the show. It looks like a collarless jacket in the front, but this like angled piece that comes around, this like V-shaped piece that comes around, actually comes up the neck a little bit, and it sort of hugs the neck on an angle. It kind of banks around the back of your neck. I am certain that any other company that's doing this, a version of this jacket, is not going to do that. They're just going to do a flat cutout piece.
Yeah.
Because it was challenging for me to do, and it's the kind of design work that I like to do. If it's challenging for me to do, I doubt they're going to do it. And I'm hoping that it turns out really cool. So far, it's looking like it will.
Ooh, a couple more questions on Instagram. I can answer some of these. So one of them is, would this item be envisioned as a limited run or a full run? So I can answer that in that pretty much everything that we do now is full. They're full compared to what we used to do. So like most of the things that we launched, like I think the Lower Decks jacket is a good example of most of the items, if not all of them now, that if we decide that there are things that people like or that we want to make and we feel confident in making them, we typically make the decision to make enough of them so that people have the chance to purchase one in a relatively...
So everything starts as a contender.
Yeah, everything starts in the like typically the 95 plus amount range. We don't really do too many, fewer designs, but more confidence in what we feel is how the popularity of those designs, which has worked out pretty well thus far. So So if we
basically anything we release, we want to be a full run all the time.
We hate the idea of releasing something and then like, you know, because the production takes so long to, it's not as nimble. It takes like a few months at the very minimum. So kind of stinks to make something only to realize it was very, very popular and then have to wait a long time for it to come back. So yeah, this makes that out of the prototype phase. Would definitely be envisioned as a larger run.
The prototype, which also means that we are spending more time on prototypes, kind of.
Yeah, that's true. So the prototype phase, we can talk about that in a second. So the colors on this, are they? Is this the same color as the lower decks jacket, or is it darker?
Yeah.
Similar. So this would be a little bit of a bright. Somebody asked if it would be a brighter or a more muted color. It's not as bright as like, it's not garish or anything like that. Like it's not as bright as like the Black Garnet Ronin or something like that. But it's not dark either. I'd say it's pretty accurate.
This is also a placeholder fabric.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. So that's a good segue, I guess. So I can talk a little bit about the prototype phase just broadly. Typically, David or Emily or whomever will sew a prototype just in whatever fabric we have lying around in whatever color. So by no means is the color ever sort of set. Actually move the camera so that we can see what's going on back there a little bit better. Oh no, there's a delay. Oh, and you're done now.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, there we go.
Cool.
Ooh, very nice.
It feels right.
Yeah, let's just leave it like that. I mean, I don't know.
Done. Easy.
I don't know what else it would need, if I'm being completely honest with you. Like,
just like a nice little sort of mantle.
Yeah, right. So we are currently working on a prototype, just to reiterate, of the. Is this an away jacket?
So they call it a field jacket. The interviews say that they didn't really design it as a uniform. It was originally designed sort of to look kind of like a uniform, but not be a uniform. And then everybody was like, "That's amazing," and they incorporated it into the costume design as a kind of uniform. So that's why it's got the division colors, but it doesn't sit as a. I think canonically, it doesn't sit as a Starfleet uniform. So they called it affectionately the field jacket, but it's kind of, they're just making that up. Like it wasn't really designed to be that. It's a field jacket, which is kind of a reference to the Wrath of Khan field jackets. It's the last field jacket that I've heard of in universe.
Gotcha.
As opposed to an away jacket.
This was the same one that Riker had on in red, right? In the like leather. Yeah. Okay. They look so the colors look so different because the red is so much more like not as contrasty as the yellow is.
Yeah, and some of them the blue looks black or gray, like a cool Section 31 version of the thing, which also looks great. It's a good looking design. I did get reference photos from the production team.
Oh wow! Someone said the Picard stole.
Yes, exactly.
Tactical jacket, another term. Someone said, "When can we order?" Good question.
Soon.
Coming soon, hopefully.
Hopefully, we gotta go through approvals. So this has gone through the first stage of approvals, which basically means they like that I'm working on it and want to see it more. But we need final approval before we can start production. But what was I gonna say? I got distracted.
That's fine. Talking about the design of it, the colors, how it's different colors online.
The production photos that I got.
Oh.
It's more complicated than I'm making it.
Oh, okay. Wait a minute. Can you speak into the microphone and can you state that again for the record, please?
I have simplified this design.
Wow!
And I'm I'm still making it's still pretty complicated. But for example, something that no one will ever know because, like I said before, they don't turn the lights on in the show, which makes me feel like an old man that I'm really mad about that. But
it's fine. No, as a visual design person, it's very dark, and the color grading is often very strong, either yellow or blue at all times. So,
which makes it's just hard to see detail. So I went through and I was like, before they sent me the production photos, I was going through and like scrubbing through the episode to see if I could get like a single shot of the back of this jacket. But they're all main characters. They're all people from Next Generation.
So you never see the back of it?
They almost never show their backs.
Oh,
If
interesting.
they do, it's like when Rafi is kicking somebody, and you're like, okay, there's more motion blur than backup jacket in that particular frame.
That's fair.
So when they sent me the production photos, there is this like angle in the back like this, and then there's a seam that goes sort of straight down to just below the waist, turns 90 degrees outward from the center of the jacket to about here, turns 90 degrees again, turns 90 degrees in,
Wow.
and then turns 90 degrees down. So it's 4 90-degree seam turns, like in a single seam. So you're going so, turn, like it's just crazy.
Just for aesthetics.
Which, it looks great. And I would find it really fun to sew. But the factory would be like, what's wrong with
This
you?
is going to be $4,000.
Factory would just say, no, you can't.
That's fair.
So we won't do that. Maybe I'll make one just for the fun of it, and then we'll sell it in Rare Finds and Oddities.
Premium version. Showy Colt said, still hoping for a true Volante cloak someday.
True cloak.
True
What does that
cloak.
mean?
I
What
guess,
is true cloak?
yeah, what exactly do you mean by that? I guess like a cape with a hood, or?
Like the Viking cloak was a cape with a hood.
Oh yeah, I guess
That
that's
had only a closure up here.
pretty cloaky, yeah.
That's pretty cloaky. I guess it's an Assassin's Creed one though, so.
That's true, yeah.
Volante.
I mean, the Namahage is poncho, sort of, but like, what is a poncho? Just a cloak that goes all the way around.
The cloak that doesn't open in the front.
Yeah. I guess if you had a Namahage, you could just cut it in the center and then put a seam in it or something. That would be doable, maybe.
Sure.
Maybe not advised, but doable.
That wouldn't ruin the waterproof, the like storm protection aspect of it. Not ruin, but.
When is the Talon going to be restocked? That's a good question. I think we're hoping for later this year, if I'm correct. You're right, it has been low stock or no stock for a while. We made some of them for TRF, and
Most of them sold at TRF.
most of them sold at TRF, and so we know it is a popular item, but we've had so many other things, I think, on the burner that we've put that one to the. People say the back burner. I don't think I've ever said someone say that something's on the front burner. Is that the opposite to that saying?
No, I like to use that broiler in the middle of it.
Oh, just right in the middle. Yeah. Just everything on fire all the time, I think is the way to go. I had some people asking about Rare Finds and Oddities. They are live. Let's talk about Rare Finds and Oddities for a little bit. What's up with that daimyo, man? That thing was weird.
Is it weird or is it really awesome?
Yeah.
Probably a little bit of both, I think.
Well, we sold it. People really liked it.
Yeah, so that was sometimes when we release a product and then want to release a similar but different product. Not different necessarily, but sometimes it's worth doing a Mark II version. Like, do that but better. Like, there were some things that were wrong with it or something like that. So I get a request. Sometimes I design things. So how do we come up with designs? Just briefly. Sometimes I just design things and say, this is an idea that I had, I hope you like it. And the sales and marketing team, like Jeremiah and Leslie, just have to figure out what to do with that. So that's one thing. Then the other side is sometimes sales and marketing says, we want this, but we do need to make some changes to it for whatever reason. So I got a request for a Shogun Mark II.
Oh, okay, so it was made So it wasn't just you being like, let's take it to the extreme. It was like you thought it would fit a niche, or you thought it would be a design that we could run with.
I thought it would be, yeah, it wasn't just like, I'll just do this because I've got extra time.
Oh, okay. I know that is a big part of the design. We laugh about it, but I know a big part of the design process is literally just making something and being like, no, this looks terrible, or no, this is really cool. What else could I do with it?
Well, nowadays, I've been spending a lot more of my, trying to put myself in a position where I can do more experimental stuff. Because it's good for me, it's good for us to have new cool stuff. Like 2020 and 2021, like 2020 we released 50 products.
We released a lot, yeah. There is a spike in the museum page. We go from like 6 to like 50 in one
In 1 year.
One little fell swoop.
50 meaning that averages out to just under one a week for the entire year. Which means that I was designing, prototyping, choosing fabrics, photographing, and then launching a product every week.
Yeah, true.
I couldn't experiment. I had to just kind of be like, this is a thing, and it works. It's great. Go ahead.
It's pretty cool.
Ship it. That was fun. It was really exciting and not sustainable. I'm getting sidetracked. I've forgotten where I'm going.
Well, apologies for the moments on YouTube where you can see my back / my upper butt area. Wow, didn't realize that was there. It's not my butt specifically, but it is my side love handle, I believe you would call that. Yeah, Viking cape, Viking cloak. Made them, and they weren't super popular from what I remember because they are very person specific. But we had a few that we sold in Rare Finds and Oddities last year, and people went absolutely, they just loved them. So we did sell those. We sold the rest of them last year.
Oh, I remember where I was going with how I come up with design. Design, when I was asked to make a Mark II Shogun, sometimes I get that request and I go, gotta make changes, huh? And I basically redesigned the whole thing from scratch. And that's not what we were going for. We were going for a Shogun, but refined. So that's sat on my rack for a long time as a crazy Shogun idea.
It was definitely a cool idea.
And some of that stuff did get incorporated into other designs. Somebody noticed the cote-ified sleeves. There's a kind of like tie for the armor on the sleeve.
Oh yeah, that's true. No, we're super crooked here now. Trying to do multiple views here, but it's... Okay, that's better. We're moving right along with the jacket. A lot of top stitching, as one might expect if you've ever bought a Volante item. So Dave's getting the main panels done now. You can see him on Instagram, and he'll be
I'll be
putting it together very shortly.
Yeah, the shell is pretty much there now.
Yeah, they were pretty sweet cloaks. They were very heavy. They probably weighed 10 pounds a piece. I mean, they were cool.
I gotta say, it was not easy to come up with ideas for Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
True. That makes sense, I guess.
I do look forward to Japan.
Oh yeah, true. Is that going to be a mobile game?
No, that's the China one. Assassin's Creed Jade is going to be a mobile game.
Gotcha. People have been asking them to do Japan for like ever.
Well, they hinted it in the first game. That's information that I haven't thought of in a long time. In the very last scene of the first game, when Desmond in modern times activates his eagle vision for the first time, and he could see what Subject 16 wrote in blood on the walls, and it's all this like weird.
Oh, I remember that. I do remember that.
History.
I don't remember what it said, but
it's just a bunch of like it's all the like those who came before EC stuff, and there was a hint there for us, like a Japanese setting, and that's why people have been like clamoring for it forever.
Plus, it would be like dope, and
plus it would be dope,
and like the perfect setting, and like every other game has done it, and it's never bad. So I feel like with the there have been a lot of ever since like Sekiro, there have been a pretty big resurgence of.
Yeah, that was the best year. That was 2017.
Well, I thought that Ghost of Tsushima came out too. That wasn't in 2017.
No, that was 2020. But Ghost of Tsushima was announced the same year that Sekiro and Nioh came out, and it was just like I was just in heaven. Like I was just like, yeah, this is great. I got Sekiro and Nioh in the same year, and then I have to look forward to Ghost of Tsushima. Little did I know that they'd also make Nioh 2 in that time. It's just the best.
I don't know what year it was, but my favorite Total War game is Total War Shogun 2? Is that the name of it? Any Total War fans in the chat? Yeah, Total War Shogun 2. The best Total War game.
Why is that?
Because it's in Japan, and it's just cool.
Okay, cool. Okay, great.
I mean, it sounds kind of mean, but there was a DLC where you could get like guns, and then you would be fighting against people without guns with guns and cannons, and it felt kind of bad because you could kind of just like roll over them. But I mean, like I guess that would make sense. I guess, yeah. There was like a Meiji restoration.
That's kind of what happened, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
That's around.
I have played Total War 3 Kingdoms. It's dope as well. Sorry, somebody in the chat. Total War fans in the chat.
That's great. It's good to have them. I can't participate in the conversation.
How have you never played the Total War games, man? Come on now.
They're kind of better with a keyboard and mouse, I assume.
Yeah, they're PC only. Yeah.
That makes them better. They're better with keyboard and mouse than keyboard.
I don't think you can play an RTS like that very well with a controller.
Yeah.
Yeah, Total War 3 Kingdoms is dope. Total War Rome 2, all-time favorite Total War game. Then Shogun 2.
What was the Shogun? Shogun 2 second. You forgot about it?
I never played the first one. Okay. That was before my time.
I don't know that that's true. It didn't come out in 1972.
1972? How old do you think I am?
How far before your time does it have to be?
I was not old enough to have a PC at that time.
Fair. The original Mario Bros. Was before it came out before I was playing video games, but that doesn't mean it was before my time necessarily.
That's true.
You know?
I mean, I don't remember it. I wasn't playing PC games at that point. I don't know what year it came out. I don't have a... Oh yeah, it came out in 2000, so I would have been like 12 and a half at that point. So not really old enough to be playing a tactical war game.
12 and a half.
Was there a possibility for cloaks to ever come back? Probably, I would say probably not those specific ones, but would never close the door on cloaks. They seem to be timeless. We have some, I don't want to spoil anything, we have some really fun and exciting Lord of the Rings announcements coming up relatively soon. And that's definitely a universe where cloaks would be probably...
relevant.
Yeah, very relevant and very cool.
I'm going to step away from the cameras for a minute and put snaps in his pocket.
Alright, so David is snapping. Let me see if I can... I won't be able to... I think we've filmed the snapping process before. Instagram can still see you.
From 25 feet away?
Yeah, I mean, can I zoom in? Oh, I can pinch zoom. Nice. And then I can move the camera so we can kind of see you on YouTube. It won't be able to zoom in because I don't have the ability to do that quite as easily here. Move a little closer. So the red thing is the snap machine. I'll show I'll show you one snap. Excuse me, one snap being snapped. I don't know why the camera is so bright here. So it's got a top and bottom piece, and then it's pressed. Very nice.
It's a kick press.
It's a kick press.
Because you kick it to press it.
Not to be confused with the kick drum, which is a different thing. Alright, I will leave. Okay, YouTube can still kind of see you there. We are getting close. Jamal Taylor, born in 1972. Nothing wrong with being born in 1972. Be a good year. Oh, look at that exposure. Sorry, everybody. The exposure just gets real wild in a second on YouTube, so don't mind it, please. I don't do camera stuff for a living or anything. Question for David. Have you ever looked into a license with Bungie revolving around the Destiny IP? I think we've talked about this a little bit before.
Yeah. The answer is yes.
The answer is yes.
I have looked into that, and I've been in contact with them a couple of times, and it's never lined up timing-wise between them and us. I don't really know why.
All right.
But if anybody knows anybody over at Bungie,
I've got
I'm still interested.
Some messages here. David, you're missed. What are you most excited about now that we are almost halfway through the year? Wonder if that's excited about things that we've done. I'm blind. Things that we've done or things that we are about to do. Well, we can't talk about the things we're about to do.
About the things we're about to do. I'm excited about, actually we started this week with a sort of look back at the last 10 years. It's been a lot, I mean, it's kind of crazy to me. If you would ask me in 2013 what we would be doing in 10 years, there's no way I would have told you. Like, I would have been so far off from where we actually are right now.
Mm. You can imagine someone as cool as me working.
Right, like I would never imagine that we'd have Jeremiah. Whew. No, the team that we have, the space that we have, the licenses, all that stuff, like where we are now, the community that we have, all that stuff, it's just really, really cool. But I would have never been able to guess that. So now we've been spending the last few weeks looking at our 10-year anniversary and going, okay, doing a retrospective on the last 10 years.
Yeah.
And sort of trying to look forward at the next 10 years, trying to be like, okay, great. How am I supposed to imagine, like the amount of time that I've spent, like the amount of energy that I've spent on this company in like for most of my like working life, that again, like that amount of time in the future, like I can't, it's so hard for me to be like, okay, yeah,
that's fair.
This is what we got next. This is what's coming up.
Yeah.
We do know that there are some things that we would like to address. There's stuff that we want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And Willow's been writing a post about that, and that'll be coming out, I think, tomorrow.
Yeah, I think so.
To sort of talk about what we are looking forward to in the next 10 years. Could we write it down, how long it'll take, and what we want to do? No.
Yeah.
But I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
I'm excited about sort of diving deeper into some of the stuff that we have done in the past. And wow, there's some.
That's not a good. Wow, that's a.
This is gonna be good. This is gonna be really cool, guys. This is why I was afraid of making this design. Because now I'm putting it together going,
Indeed. Yeah, I mean, I think I got an interesting question right after this. Yeah, I feel the same way. I've only worked here for a little over a year now, and it's like,
what could we do? Or what could it be?
what do you mean?
Go ahead, you could just go.
Oh.
I'm just saying stupid shit.
Oh, okay. No, I mean, like, I agree with you. I think it's so cool to think about, you know, how much things have changed since I've been here. But I mean, the thing that I've been most proud of, or like the thing that I've been happiest with this year specifically, is kind of what we were talking about earlier with the like contender versus designer's workshop model. The designer's workshop model was really cool because it allowed us to like do a lot of different designs. But the thing I think I disliked the most about it is that we had so many people who would be like, I really wanted this thing, but I didn't know it existed, or like I really like the shift towards the like being able to provide more things for people who like them model. So I just think it's really cool that we can like, you know, we can launch, I don't know, we can launch like the lower decks jackets, right? Like we launched those and we, you know, we knew that people would like them and they have really, really liked them. And so we were able to like make enough of them that people could, you know, get them. Like this is something you're really into and you really wanted this, then you don't have to wait for it to be remade again, or I don't know.
Yeah, that kind of ties into like, when people ask us if we will do show exclusives for the show like here at Comic-Con or San Diego Comic-Con or something, because that's what other companies do. They have an exclusive that you can only get at that convention that weekend. I hate doing that.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I want people that, like, if I'm making it, if I'm putting the work into it, I think we should make it available for people to buy.
Yeah.
Launching a product is the hardest part of making a product. Yeah, this is gonna be hard.
The jacket?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a funky,
Well, listen, you stop talking for a little bit and concentrate here.
the neckline is
the jacket is
super cool and pretty funky.
The jacket's the most important thing here. That's fine. I have a question that I can actually speak to. It's an interesting question and something that I think we've never really talked about, but for anybody that is watching, so the question was, why are we so secretive about future releases and spoilers? Aren't only your most hardcore fans watching this? That's a good question. The answer is unfortunately a little bit more boring and not as nefarious as it may seem. And I think the ultimate answer is that like we don't really know a lot of stuff, and we don't really want to tell people things that we can't back up in the future.
Yep.
So I mean, like I could tell you, you know, hey, we're like I just said, we're thinking about we would love to do more Lord of the Rings designs because that's a great universe and IP, and we would love to work with them more. But like if I told you the specifics of the things that were being worked on, and then people got really like hype about that, you know, we don't want to do that because then if those things fall through or they don't come to fruition or like maybe it didn't work out, then, you know, we've got a whole not insignificant group of people who are like, hey, we were really expecting this thing to come out and then it just didn't. And like, that's not a good look for any company to make promises, even if they don't seem like promises, and then not follow through with them. So
yeah,
we like to keep things under wrap.
Yeah. Just by saying we are going to, or we're working on something, there are a lot of people who just take that as that thing is coming, and I love it. Even, like, especially if we show concept art or prototypes, and it's like, the prototype looks really good, but for some reason can't be produced.
Yeah.
Then the customer is going to look at it and go, oh, that was really cool looking, why didn't you make that one?
Yeah.
And the answer is boring, but a lot of the time, that will ultimately be a turnoff.
Yeah, it will color the way that people view. I mean, I've been in the same position before where I've followed a company because they talked really deeply about something, or like really in depth about something that they were going to make, and then they just never made it. My interest level in that company just dropped instantly. So we like to talk about things only when they're close enough. Like the fact that we're making this Picard jacket on stream probably tells you guys that this is a thing that we would really like to make, and we're really probably hoping to make this at some point. But we wouldn't want to tell you about some design that we don't have planned for another 6 months because something may happen, or, you know, and we don't want anybody to get their hopes up and then, you know, feel really bad when it doesn't come to fruition.
Right. Check out
What a weird, what an interesting. Okay, let me make sure we can, hang on, hold it up. Let me see, make sure we can see it on YouTube.
It's really complicated. It's hard to do. The order of operations is extremely important, and I'm pretty sure I got it right.
Can you move it to your right a little bit more so that, yeah, Instagram can see you now. Yeah, so that is an interesting design.
I know, and the way they do it in the show is different because they don't have to worry about the construction looking good on the inside.
True.
But this corner is going to be fun. That's going to be a fun thing. I did add a collar to this design that's not in the show.
Okay.
Because I like collars, but also specifically because I like the collar on Geordi's Commodore jacket, which is sort of adds another element of a division color around the collar, and it's kind of a shawl collar. It looks a little kimono-esque. It's very cool.
Oh yeah, definitely. Cool. Got some love for the jacket in the chat. That's great to hear. When can you buy an original concept sketch made by David? Wow, we've actually had questions about this. If you join, if you're in our Vanguard and you get to the highest tier of loyalty, we are planning to send out as a yearly thank you some concept sketches and stuff to our Diamond members.
Loyalty is such a weird word when it comes to...
Yeah, it's loyalty. I think you explained it really well one time. Where loyalty is not really the word that we mean. It's more like investment. So we want to reflect on and really kind of acknowledge how much people have invested in our company by trying to return that in some way. Or loyalty is a weird way to put it, I guess. It's just kind of like the industry standard term, unfortunately.
It's industry standard term. It makes sense. As much as we hate to admit it, we are working in a capitalist system, so there is a reward spend.
True. Yeah, because if we were really rewarding loyalty, it would be a different concept altogether.
Right.
But if you, I guess I can pitch the rewards program, if you want to call it that. There is a rewards program. You guys haven't heard. All of y'all watching the stream, we actually have quite a few people watching right now, which is really cool. I think we have almost 50 between the two streams, so that's pretty sweet. Most of our views typically end up being after the stream is actually over. But we have a rewards program. You get perks and you get percentages off and gift cards, and you get if you become a Diamond member, which is spend over 12,000 total lifetime spend, which granted I know is a lot.
We did the math and it does make sense.
It does make sense, yeah, especially because we've had a lot of customers for years and years. 10th anniversary, whoop whoop. You get the opportunity to get a custom made or to work on a custom order. Right now, I think we have very few people who are in the Diamond tier, so. I have heard some cool custom ideas, though. People often talk about them on the Discord server. So someone was talking about a purple, almost like an ultraviolet obi. Something in that, space.
Yeah, because they've got a lot of other ultraviolet stuff.
Yeah. I was like, dang, that does sound pretty cool. People are excited to see the jacket here. We will, the real question is, what size is this jacket going to be?
Actually, I think we've been cutting things in size 41.
I know you have. It was a rhetorical question. I'm stoked. I get to put things on and it fits. 39s fit me. I just can't really buy them very well.
I've changed shape slightly in the last few months. Not a ton. I can still fit into a 39. It's just slightly less comfortable. Mm-hmm. Which is fine. I'm not worried about it. I'm just. It does mean that there might be some RFO stuff in the future that are 41s. I also was thinking maybe we should just randomly make a jacket in a size so that we have rarefied jackets in the future.
That's fair.
Just random sizes.
Let's see.
We'd love to find more models of different sizes. But very few people outside of the like 37 to 41 range respond to modeling requests, is my understanding.
Yeah, not a lot of people in general. Although to be fair, I think that's probably more like Nathan said, "Oh my God, David is size 41 now. RFO Black Friday. It's gonna be lit." No, David's not a size 41. No, David's not a 41. Yeah, finding models outside of that range has been difficult. I think that's more because we're located here in Western Mass.
We got a bunch of skinny hipsters, is what you're saying.
Well, I mean, like don't act like you aren't including yourself in that.
I know.
So I had a question about purchase. If you have a question about your purchases or your loyalty tier, feel free to send us an email at info@Volante Design. We can definitely check your purchase history and get all that added up for you. Culvert, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I remember buying my first jacket from you guys in 2014.
Wow.
9 years ago. And then we have a lot of questions about baby weight and the dad bod factor and things, which I'm not going to repeat more than that. So,
the babies are doing great. They are.
Once you get to the stage where they start walking, you're gonna be a 37 because you'll lose so much weight having to chase after two of them constantly.
That's right.
That
is right.
Then rare finds and oddities are gonna drop to a 37, and that will be the opposite of lit. So.
Not important. Babies are doing great. They are healthy. They're basically just full-term babies, even though they were a little early. In fact, I think Asher is somewhere in the upper 60s percentile. I don't know. We haven't been to doctors in a month or two. But point is, they're doing great.
That's good to hear. Yeah, I know quite a few people who were premature, quite small at birth, perhaps even a twin, and they became like a gigantic when they got
Yep.
Seems to be not indicative. Got kind of a fun question, like pie in the sky. So we tend to be pretty level-headed. What's a pie in the sky goal? It's a good question.
Sorry.
What's up?
The babies have the one thing about the babies right now is that they are not sleeping today, and they should be.
Oh well.
And Willow sent me a text telling me how chill they, asking me how chill they look, and it's just like full on headlights, just crazy eyes. That's all right. He's working on it. He's I think they're at a stage where they're discovering their like senses they're able to sort of process their
Yeah, they're
senses a
just
little better
taking
right now.
everything in. That's
And they're just
understandable.
like-
Yeah.
They're like, holy shit, all this stuff has been going on. I haven't even noticed it. What were you saying?
No, that was all. So we've got a lot of love for the mini V's, which I like. I like how that's put. Now somebody asked about like a pie in the sky, like lofty, unrealistic goal. That's a hard question to answer though, because it would include a lot of really like extreme stuff, probably.
An unrealistic what?
An unrealistic goal, like for the company.
For the company?
Like if you just had like a really out there goal that you could do anything.
Oh.
But that's a pretty broad question because the answer would probably be like something really out there.
Yeah.
Wait, I got one while you think, because I know something that I don't know if it's so much a goal or something that I would love to see happen because it's awesome. Those of y'all, if y'all are in a clothing space, you might have heard or seen. So the company Flint and Tinder, who they make jackets for Huckberry, they do the wax canvas trucker jacket. Their jacket was used on the Last of Us TV show. and then again, it got used again with another show, or another, I think, show or movie. The one that came out with the guy who played Captain America, Chris Evans, and the woman who was in...
It's like Ghosted?
Yes, maybe something like that. But they used the jacket again. Huh. And like, I would really love to see one of our products either used with coordination with us, or just, I would love to turn on like a huge blockbuster movie and be like, is that a Jonin? Like, what am I looking at here? And
it's like it's literally.
Yeah, and like it's literally, you know, is that? And then it's just this gigantic thing, and then we just get to tell people like, hey, did you see that jacket of this gigantic movie? Like, I want the next Avatar to feature Namahage or something, right? Like, that would be my. And then we can just tell people like, have you ever, you know, this little movie Avatar or whatever? Like, did you guys like that thing he was wearing?
That's a really cool idea, especially if. In like the way you're telling it is like we don't know about it until the movie comes out.
Yeah. From my understanding, in the
people are like, "Where'd that jacket come from?" And it's like, "Oh, it's that company." Like they just bought it from our website.
From my understanding, in The Last of Us, that's what they did. Like there was, I don't think it didn't seem like from their marketing at least that they had coordination on it. Now maybe that was part of their marketing, but it seemed like Last of Us liked that jacket, bought it, and the company didn't realize they were using it until the show came out. And I'm like, what a cool like.
You know, my understanding of like production timelines for shows like that makes total sense. Like they could contact us, they could go through an email, we could be like, oh yeah, we'll send it, give us your address and we'll send it to you. Or they could just go to your website and be like, click, done, we have a budget, like
yeah, right.
We have $100,000 to budget for this like one episode of costumes. Like I'll just go to the store and buy a $300 jacket.
How sweet would that be?
Yes, that would be incredibly sweet. It would be the sweetest.
I just got a $10,000 purchase from John HBO. Who could this be? Sorry, that would be my goal, is viral marketing through a gigantic movie or TV show.
Yes.
Which I don't know if that's really a goal or...
That is, I mean, it counts as an unrealistic...
A wish, a dream.
Yeah.
Are you sewing the sleeves on now?
Okay, so I'm going to do the sleeves and I'm putting this collar on first.
Okay. We've got 30 minutes. Ish. Is that enough time?
Yeah, I'm gonna just do the sleeves and then I think we're gonna call it, because I was thinking I would leave at 4:30.
Oh yeah, it's 4:40. All right.
Now.
As long as you can get the shell finished where we can put it on you and people can see what it looks like.
Yes.
I think that will be fine.
That's
Sorry,
my plan.
We've been kind of answering questions and talking and stuff, so.
No, that's fine.
You could probably have already been done with this like 3 times over if we wouldn't have been.
Like I said, it is a very complicated jacket.
Oh yeah, I don't know if. Hang on. Let me just keep right where you are. Let me zoom in and show all of just that is happening right there.
That's the inside.
That's all the panel attachment points. You guys can...
A goal. Okay, so a weird lofty goal. It doesn't really make sense, and again, it's not entirely feasible. Okay, so what if a high fashion brand, really like Gucci or Prada or somebody, you know, some big high fashion brand came to us to have us do a video game inspired version of their clothing. So like, what would a Volante, so like right now, yeah, so it's a weird thing, right? So right now Volante does inspired by video games, where we take the thing and we translate it into streetwear. So what if we took Prada, I don't know, whatever.
Sure, why not?
Louis Vuitton, right? We took Louis Vuitton and we did a video game translation of their stuff. So like the other side of the bridge between like high fashion and video game. Or if we're in the center of that, we mostly act on this side of that.
Oh, I see. So you're not talking about developing a video game.
No, I'm talking about developing video game inspired clothing.
Well, okay. You're losing me on the term video game. So you mean more like let's it's been 10 years, David. You can put your name on it. It's fine. So you want to do like Volante-fied versions of in collaboration with high fashion companies?
Exactly.
Oh, damn, that would be pretty cool.
I think that would be, I mean, it'd be weird and nobody's done it before, and like...
Whoa, pump the brakes. Nathan in the chat said, have you guys seen the Balenciaga AI memes?
Yes, I have, and I love them.
They go on to say, would you be offended if I made a Volante version? What are you talking about? No, that's the greatest idea I've ever heard. We would not be offended.
Yeah.
It would be amazing.
It would be amazing.
I don't know what that would even look like or be. Would that be like Harry Potter and a Son of Sparta? Is that what?
Yeah, kind of.
I don't know. I don't know what's going on there.
Cool.
No, I don't.
I'm gonna press this because I won't be able to top stitch the collar, but
okay.
Let me just do the sleeves on. Yeah, that would be a cool, weird, like the other side of the bridge thing.
There are probably enough images though. You could be in it. I think like it would be you.
I was thinking we had a really stupid comment on Facebook a few weeks back that we continue to make fun of. The soy boys comment.
Oh, the soy boy thing, yeah.
Somebody was like, why don't you get real men to model your clothes, not these soy boys something or other, so on and so forth. Like it was just incredibly offensive and really misinformed.
So are you thinking about AIing our clothes onto like really burly men? Okay.
I was like, I wanted to get like an AI thing and just be like real men wearing Volante and just see what it made, you know?
It's just like the brawny paper towel man in Volante.
Just lumberjack, full on, like, I don't know. With plaid detailing in the.
Why don't we have more Volante flannel? Flannel? Volannel? I don't know.
Easier to pronounce than spell. I can't figure out how you spell that.
Probably easier to pronounce than to, probably harder to pronounce than to design as well. Just
plaid?
Dude, why haven't I seen a plaid version of every item that we make? That's what I want to know. Like a tartan Son of Sparta? Now that would be slick.
As you are literally wearing plaid here. The reason there's green in our collection at all is because Jeremiah joined this company 8 years ago.
And it is routinely one of our most popular colorways, David.
That's only because he's never done it before and not because green is better than other colors.
Okay, agree to disagree. Green's not even my favorite color, but I like it in clothing. I think it looks nice.
Does look nice. All right, almost got some sleeves on.
Good. We have surpassed. We have a lot of people watching currently, so no pressure or anything, but we have surpassed a lot of people. So
surpassed a lot.
Yeah. The number fluctuates, but we were at almost 75 a minute ago.
Wow.
Which is pretty big for a live stream at 4 p.m. in the afternoon, or 3:30 in the afternoon on a Wednesday. Somebody, Ian in the chat said "son of Tarta," and I can't be mad at it. What other clothing companies inspire you? That's a good question.
That is a good question.
Probably.
I think you can pull this one right off the top of your head.
I was going to say acronym. Yeah. Is that what you were going to say too?
That's what I might have said. I really like Demobaza, even though
that's true.
I think it's largely the way that they present their clothing is largely unwearable. But the individual pieces work surprisingly well in outfits. Like they never show streetwear pairings. But it looks sick with streetwear, with like just normal clothes.
Sure. All right, we've got a shell. So this is really just ready for a liner to be attached to it.
Yeah, we need the zipper and we need the lining, and without that stuff, it's raw edged and it looks,
That's fine. We can still get a really good idea of what it looks like. Are you gonna? Okay, cool. Press it at all.
Yeah, I could press it, but.
All right, everybody, we've got the reveal sort of here.
I always think of that scene from Back to the Future.
Ooh, it is pretty.
When Doc Brown is like, please exclude the please excuse the crudeness of my model. I didn't have time to paint it or.
And it's like an
Or
elaborate.
scale, and it's like the most elaborate scale. Yeah, that's how I feel about this. I'm like, please excuse this. It's not finished.
All right, yeah. So this needs a zipper and a liner.
And I can't top.
Oh, I see what you say about. I see what you mean about the like pseudo shawl collar there.
Yeah, kind of like hugs the back of it.
And then for the back, you just did kind of like some paneling. Oh, okay. So it's got a little bit of a. Oh, let me get my camera up so I can make sure everybody's. Okay, yeah. So for the back, we've got kind of an interesting design. Turn back around to the front, please. Yeah, very cool. It does look. You put it together in like a little over an hour though, like an hour and 5 minutes or so, which is not even.
I got places to be.
Yeah. So it must not be that complicated of a design.
What I can do and what the factory can do is totally like it's in my head, you know, like
that's fair.
I know how to do it. They'd have to make 500 of them before they could make them at that speed.
Would that top? So the only would this guy right here, this top stitch, is that how it stops or does it go?
So when I put the zipper in and close the jacket, I'll do a top stitch that comes here, turns this corner, goes across, and it's going to pick up where that left off.
Oh, okay.
So visually, there won't be a break, but technically, the way it's put together, there is a break.
Okay, very cool. All right. Well, that's cool. David has to go. Say goodbye, everybody.
Gotta help take care of babies.
Thanks for joining. David has to go. Gets to go touch a baby. It's always fun. Y'all will join us tomorrow. I'm not quite sure of the time. Probably 4 is our normal time. We're gonna have a special live stream, and
Willow and I will both try to be on it.
Yeah, we're gonna try to do some co-streaming and get that figured out, and we'll be answering questions if you guys are on our Discord server.
We may individually run out occasionally as needed. My mom will be there to take care of the babies, but
I think that's pretty.
2-on-1 is pretty tough.
Yeah. So So thank you guys for joining. There are so many cameras here, and please join us tomorrow by Instagram, by YouTube. We will.